One of the new things you'll notice is when you install and activate the new SERP Shaker, there's quite a few more menu options here. So what I plan to do with these videos is I'm actually going to focus on just one specific feature per video so you can see what's going on with that. So the very first one I want to do is the spinner settings here. Basically what I've done is I've incorporated both the Word AI and Spin Rewriter API right into the program so that you can create almost like a base page. Use Word AI or Spin Rewriter to then create the spun syntax on the page, and then go and use that to build out the site if you wanted to use spinning. So it's very simple. Basically, if you have Word AI, you just put in your email and your password. You choose what plan you want to use. I highly recommend the touring one. That's going to give you the best quality. If you do standard, then you choose here what kind of quality you want. But for the most part, I use touring, and then for touring quality, you can do readable, very readable, or very unique. You choose what's best for that. I try to tend to keep it at the readable. It gives you the option if you want to do nested spinning or not nested spinning, just depending on how you want to do that. Sentence spinning as well. Paragraph spinning. No original. It says enable if you don't want to include the original word. I usually keep this not unchecked. Also, if there's any words that you want to protect so that it never spins them, or you can add your own synonyms. And if you use Word AI before, you're familiar with what settings you like to use for that. These are just all the settings that you'll be able to use with them. And then for Spin Rewriter, very similar. You use your email and your API key. You find your API key inside your Spin Rewriter dashboard. You can choose the confidence level. For the most part, I tend to go with high. I've left it at medium default because that's what they recommend. But for my sites, I go with high confidence. And then also the same thing. Do you want to do nested spinning or sentence spinning, paragraph spinning? Do you want to add new paragraphs? Would you like it to change the structure of the article? Only use synonyms. Protect any capitalized words. So if there's any words that you've capitalized, it can protect them. Or if you want a list of words in here. And so once you have these settings in here, if we go over and create a new shaker page, you can put in your content here, and then you'll notice that now there are a couple new buttons in here. It's going to be right here with this SS spinner, and it says that you can spin the shaker page once it's saved. So if I hit the save draft, we should now see it a little bit differently. It gives you two different options. You can spin it with Word AI or spin it with Spin Rewriter. Now I don't have my settings put in there, my login, so it actually, I've got it to where you won't be able to click it unless you have your credentials put in there. So let me pause the video real quick. Let me put in my credentials, and then I can show you specifically what it is that it does. So now that I've added my username and password for Word AI, we'll notice that the button's now active here. I didn't add Spin Rewriter, but they both work exactly the same. So let me just show you real quick what it is going to do once we decide to spin it. So I'm just going to grab some dummy text from here. Let me just grab a random article here from Easy Articles. This one has to do with remodeling your home. So I'm going to copy all this. Let's paste it right in here. Now, one thing that I've noticed is that if we're going to go ahead and use Word AI or Spin Rewriter, it's better to not input any of the shortcodes into this article yet. Let's go ahead and let it run through, and we can use placeholders. We can just pick like a random city. So instead of doing in city, we would use an actual city name, and it's going to give them a better chance to produce a better article. What I mean is if as I'm reading this, and anywhere that I could see where I would normally put in the city shortcode, I'd put in something like in Miami or in Miami, Florida. And I've got an easy way that once the article is created, we added a search and replace feature so that we can replace all those Miami with the actual shortcode that we intend of using. So let's just say I'm going to go through and I will put in the city in here. I'm going to copy this so I can just insert it in a few other places. Okay, and now I've got, what would normally be the city shortcode. I've just replaced it with Miami. I've got it in a few different places. And once it's good to go, then I'm not worried about adding any images or maps or any of the other shortcodes yet. This is just the base article. And we're going to go ahead and save this draft to make sure that all the changes took. And then I'm going to go ahead and spin it with Word AI. So what it's going to do is it's going to send this text over to Word AI, process it, especially through their, if you're using Turing. It takes a little while because they got to do all the, actually read the article, understand what it is, and then give a lot of different syntax suggestions for it. But it's going to return a new article with all this syntax already in place, and it actually just creates a new one, a new shaker page with all the syntax already in place. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video while it's doing that. I'll show you again once it's done. Okay, and once it's done, you're going to see the post updated notification, and keep in mind that obviously the longer the article, the longer it's going to take. This one took about a minute for it to go through Word AI and come back, and Word AI is one of the more sophisticated ones to where it actually understands what it's reading and give you a good quality article. So just make sure it's going to take a little bit of time. But if we open up our shaker pages now, we'll notice that we'll have two different test ones, and if you go to the very first one here, this is going to usually be the new one that it just created, and it's now going to have this syntax all throughout it. And depending on the settings that you have, I just went with the basic settings that I had in there, so there's not a lot of syntax, but if you play around with some of those settings, you'll get a more deeply spun article. But if you remember, when we put it through, we were using in Miami. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this Miami, and I'm actually going to go ahead and replace it with my actual city shortcode. So I can use this find and replace feature we have, and we'll put in Miami. I'll go ahead and replace it with city. First you got to hit find, but then you can just do replace all. And if we close out, we'll notice now that it no longer has Miami, it has city. So that's why I said the best strategy is to just use an actual city name so that it could read what the article is, and then that way you don't have any issues with the Word AI or Spin Rewriter. Sometimes they'll even strip out the squiggly shortcode, since it's the same kind of squiggly that's used whenever you're spinning. So just use the real city name and then use the find and replace to do that, and Spin Rewriter will work the same exact way. And then now this one will be the one that you use to build out your site. You set up your title, your URL, categories, and all that other stuff how you normally would do it.